I'll be brief, as befits my relatively junior role in this course. What Miroslav says about, or Rick Warren says about hand, heart, head, I think absolutely right. And there's lots of cognitive research to the effect that it is right. The stuff a fellow named Barge in the Yale Psych department is doing, where you ask people their preferences about real and concrete things, and they give you answers. And then you ask them the reasons, and the reasons don't fit. And the interpretation is that the heart rules, and rules in a way that is illogical and only has a passing familiarity with the conscious mind. It's a very interesting story. At any rate, my religious faith, such as it is more about hand and heart than about head. And I grew up with some aversion to abstractions about God. I was a preacher's child, and I found those abstractions mysterious and often phony. I mean, they often felt like baloney to me. And I think, I don't know, if we sliced up all the things said invoking the deity in public, some fraction of it would actually qualify for that title, I think. 80%? Yeah, some pretty considerable portion. The vivid, this morning I thought about what's the most vivid religious experience of my life, and it is my father coming home and saying, I'm going to have a new job and we're going to have to move. Sunday we're baptizing what he said, Negro family. This was 1948. And I was frightened by that. But it formed one of the central streaks in my lifelong character about values having to do with justice and a kind of fundamental truth-telling about the value of human beings. And all that, I think, could be packaged in any of the great religious faiths. I may be mistaken about that, but I think those impulses, which I think are fundamental and profound, don't depend much on highly abstract doctrine. Now, the Charles Taylor piece, which for all its windiness, is really, I think he's really getting it there. And I think we are in what he calls the third aspect of secularization, the aspect where there may be fervent religious belief, but it is always in the consciousness of choice about religion and other belief systems. There is an internalized pluralism, which is probably relatively new to the modern world. It may have been, it surely existed in the ancient world in the most sophisticated cities of Greece or Rome. But as a worldwide phenomenon, it's probably new and it's important. It ties into the notion of provisional belief and the humility about one's own ability to know. I think is really important. For me, an economist named F.A. Hayek, with a book, Constitution of Liberty, published nearly 50 years ago, 48 years ago, where he says, society is not created by some genius. It's created by the actions of millions of people over centuries. And the idea that any one of us can master the whole thing is on its face absurd. And with that, the globalization process is in part a learning process. And the total store of knowledge within and between societies increases like this, almost vertically. So that seen from the point of view of any person, however clever or well educated, the darkness exceeds the light at an ever greater ratio. the things I really can know myself are a small fraction of what is out there to be known. One last point, the Blair Foundation project is interesting and very inspiring. And the question, I know it's a little early to talk about this, Tony, Professor Blair. I love that title. Does it sound funny to you?
Yes.
I thought.
More it sounds funny to everyone else, but there you go.
The question of succession in the project. Is this thought to be something which might last for generations?
That's what everyone hopes about any project, but
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and the question then is how do you give it, allow it to accumulate a history which will inspire that? And I would urge that it have enough focus on practice of really hard things, that be its dominant image in a way. And I think its capacity to inspire will be greater that way and very great.
Thank you.